Hello everybody, Ray Garner with Garner's Games here to do my weekly comic review. This week's a pretty big week as we start the Absolute Universe with Absolute Batman. Now this is brought to us by Scott Snyder and Nick Dragotta. If I'm pronouncing the name correctly, that's going to be our artist. This book is a really great Elseworld story, of course, featuring Batman. We start off, it's kind of a combination throughout of flashback and current day. And we're basically flashing back to the origin. This book is called The Zoo. This is part 1 of 5. We're mainly following this guy arriving back in Gotham. Alfred Pennyworth. He is a agent for some organization, assumably British. He has been pulled off a case in, I believe it was Singapore, to go back to Gotham to observe this group called the Party Animals, who have been just massacring people in Gotham. And with apparently no rhyme or reason that anybody seems to know for sure. So he's basically sent there to figure it out. He's not happy because he just got pulled off of the assignment he had in Singapore where he was tracking a guy. Then we have this cut away from him basically getting his bike stolen. And we go to Croc's gym. And we see a guy beating up, a punching bag, doing kicks, all that stuff. Pretty good shape. And we find out it's not our main guy. Our main guy, Bruce, starts working the bag. And he's remembering his trip to the zoo again as he's doing so. In between pretty much every panel, it's him striking the bag with a loud boom sound. And then when there's actually a bang in the memory, he shatters the bag. And Bruce Wayne in this universe is a muscled up freak compared to even the, I guess we'll call it the Alpha universe. And it's kind of cool because, variation on the deals. We got Killer Croc is not a crocodile guy. He's just a guy who just got his exotic license to have animals. And so he's got a pet crocodile and a big snake. Then we go to Falcone and another gentleman. He's meeting with the Party Animals on a boat. And they're basically telling them their family has ran Gotham for 150 years and they better respect them and they best get out of the town. Then they show them a bunch of death masks, including Falcone and the other guy's family. And at the very end, they kill both of them. Mayor Jim Gordon is holding basically a town hall meeting to try to explain what he's planning to do in conjunction with Commissioner Bullock as far as trying to take care of these party animals. And then Martha Wayne, although we don't get this until the very end, although I don't think her name's Martha. I'm not 100% sure on that. But definitely get the impression it's not Martha Wayne. This is Julia Wayne. And as they start to try to get the crowd behind them and everything else, the party animals show up. And they attack Jim Gordon. We find out Barbara Gordon is a police officer here. The three people in there are grabbed by something and yanked back out, and the door is shut. Barbara looks out the door, and hanging upside down is face everybody's familiar with, Batman. And he says, "Whatever you hear, you do not open the door." And then the big fight outside begins between Batman and the party animals, with Alfred looking on. He is ordered to observe the party animals, and if the third party guy, which is Batman, interferes, he is to engage them, or him. This is a very, very brutal Batman. Still not using lethal force. But, I mean, his bat ears pull out into knives, which he uses to cut up people, but he misses, as Alfred's pointing out, expertly misses every artery. Therefore, none of the damage is lethal. Painful as all get out, but not lethal. And then one of the party animals shows up threatening with a giant cleaver. Talk about how many people he's killed. So then we get the scene where Batman pulls out a staff rod and connects to the bat symbol and shows us we have a bat axe now. That fight is really short, and no bonus points for guessing who wins. Then he does the huge scare everybody off. And then he blows the street up to stop them from escaping. Again, not killing anybody, but leaving them incapacitated. Pennyworth goes to engage him. Bruce quickly takes him down. Then we get a collage of him, basically at that point, really following Bruce around, finding out who Bruce is. We get the conclusion of what happened at the zoo. Bruce's dad puts him and the rest of the students, because he's a teacher, into the bat sanctuary, and it shuts the door, tells Bruce, whatever you hear, you do not open this door. And obviously, his dad doesn't make it. Then we go into him being lost, eventually finding himself, going to college, faking an injury at football after he got the scholarship to basically still get the free ride, but then gets to save his body, as Alfred points out, for when he does what he's doing now. Shows him studying chemistry, mechanics, criminal psychology, military theories, history, all the stuff that makes Batman Batman for being so super smart. Alfred goes to confront him and sees Bruce's mom sitting out there. The reason why I don't think he's Martha, because he had tried to get a hold of Julia, his daughter, and Julia had messaged him back saying, don't ever try to contact me again. And he says, you're just a kid, censored. For him not willing to be able to take that shot, I got a feeling we're going to find out that basically Bruce is Alfred's grandson, through his mom's side. They again have a confrontation where he tries to go after Bruce. Bruce has taken his gun away from him earlier and has basically made it a non-lethal version. It shoots little bitty batarangs in his face, but doesn't kill him. And we got this really pretty cool page of him jumping in front of the moon. It's kind of the credit deal ending the story. Except there's a little epilogue with people talking about this other crazy guy, probably the guy from Singapore. And he talks about how he never laughs. And that's why they always call him the Joker. And that's what we end with, is this image right here. And he is ridiculously rich. Talk about him going to, study in France and then killing the teacher, training with the League of Assassins and then killing them. Anyway, I wasn't 100% sure how I was going to like this book, because I, generally speaking, don't like, a lot of brutality in my comics. Some people really do like it, some people don't. I don't. But Absolute Batman has just the right deal to be a darker, grittier, more, vengeful Batman, which is very appropriate for a universe basically powered by Darkseid. But still a hero in the fact that he doesn't kill. He maim, doesn't kill. And so I think that's a really good balance still. I love the fact there's a lot of changes. Barbara is obviously, mixed race. Croc, isn't, Killer Croc isn't a crocodile man. He is a guy who likes crocodiles and has one and kind of his mascot. Pennyworth is still a spy, which has been, in various continuities, he's been a spy in the past, so that's kind of cool. Bullock's not a commissioner, but he's really, a lot more, he's going to be a lot more brutal, probably corrupt, police commissioner underneath a mayor, Jim Gordon, who's just been shot. Doesn't look like he's dead. Hopefully he's not. So, very curious to see how we go with all this. Anyway, I think this book was a lot better than I expected. It was very, very, very good. One of the better Batman stories, probably the best Batman Elseworld stories I've read in a decade. I can't wait to see what the rest of the story goes. Can't remember what Absolute we're getting next week, but it will be one of my featured deals. I'm also going to try to do an additional one this week. There's just so much coming out in the new DC stuff that I feel I need to do more than just one this week. Anyway, don't mess with the bat. See you next week.